Hi YouTube, I'm JoshStrifeHayes. This is going to be a guide to Fangbreaker Island, one of the hardest dungeons in Neverwinter Online. I've got a great team with 2 DPS, a great tank, a healer and a buff cleric. So we're going to queue up. I'm going to talk through this as we go. Now Fangbreaker Island is a difficult, long dungeon. So there might be quite a few times where I die, have to respawn and run back in. We're not going to get disheartened and we're not going to give up. We're going to keep going. We've got a very highly skilled team with us. The weakest member of this team is probably me. So I'm going to stand at the back, do everything that I can and talk through what I'm doing as I do it. Now as soon as we spawn into the island, we've got to climb up the side of this mountain. This climb is one of the hardest parts because we're going to bump into mobs of giants. The mobs of the giants are very, very tough. So I'm going to hang back and wait for the tank to go first. Denko is tanking for us. So as soon as we're ready to aggro everything, let's go forward. You cannot run in and solo this. If you are end game geared, you might stand a chance. But if you are anything less than perfectly built, you've got to rely on your team for every single part of this fight. Even these basic enemies can take me down without a worry. So I'm going to focus on dodging and staying out of the red. My main plan is to not get hit. See those giants there, the Beastmasters? You definitely don't want to be hit by those huge boulders they throw. If you get hit by the huge boulders, you'll not only take a massive amount of damage, you'll be knocked back as well. If you're unlucky, you might be knocked back into another boulder. This is going to result in a horrible chain of you being stun-locked and likely dying. So kill these guys as fast as you can and stay out of the red. Now my team made that look relatively simple. They did that because they're absolutely fantastic at what they do. We're going to hang here and let this avalanche pass. Once the avalanche has passed, we're going to carry on. Now fighting our way up the mountain is simply a case of going from mob to mob, killing all of them as quickly as possible. There's no specific mechanics apart from avoiding the red, which as an endgame player, you should really be doing anyway. Now the giants can charge at you in a straight line. You'll see that when the rectangle of red appears on the floor, or they can throw that boulder at you. Both these attacks do an insane amount of damage, and you want to avoid them as soon as possible. Occasionally, they will swing their massive hammers and axes as well. Thankfully, this is telegraphed a lot. It's like a golf swing. You'll see them pull the hammer and the axe back, and then take a long, slow swing at you. When this happens, you've got plenty of time to dodge out the way. The difficulty comes because dodging one of them is easy. Dodging 4 or 5 at the same time, that's hard. So don't let yourself get trapped in the middle. Stay around the edge like I'm doing, jump in, hit them, and then jump out. The only person that should be in the middle is the tank or a fantastically good DPS. Through sticking together and working slowly and carefully, we were able to take down all of those giants. There is a bonfire here, activate this, and then carry on with the climb. See these little enemies? These aren't really a problem because you're going to catch these guys in the AoE DPS you're doing anyway. The big problems are the giants. We keep pushing up, following the sparkly trail and carrying on. Denko is doing a great job of tanking all this, so I'm not really worried about too much right now. The hard parts of this dungeon are the bosses, and they are exceptionally tough if you don't know what you're doing. When we get to the bosses, I'm going to go slow and explain all the mechanics before we go in. You'll see there that I got caught in red. I didn't see the red because it unfortunately blended in quite well with the ground. But Soulforged did exactly what it's meant to do and got me back up. There's no real mechanics that are going to make this fight any more complicated than avoiding the red. And once all the giants are taken care of, continue pushing your way up. It is possible to run past that group of enemies, but it's more trouble than it's worth, because if it catches one of you at the end, you're going to end up with a team member who's stuck. Now during this fight, an avalanche of snow can happen, because you're standing right in the avalanche area. If that happens, you will take some damage, and you will get pushed to the side. It shouldn't kill you if you're lucky, so don't worry too much about it. Kill these guys as fast as you can, and then we're going to head toward the first boss, Heidi. You'll see I narrowly avoided being hit by that boulder. And now the giants have been taken down, we can get back on our mounts and push up toward the first mini-boss. That was the avalanche that pushed me to the side. Luckily, I didn't die. Now I'm going to switch around one of my powers to be more of a single target DPS. I'm going to talk this through with you. So Heidi is a manticore. There's a couple of mechanics we need to be aware of in this fight. The first thing, as soon as we enter the arena, we want to run and take cover under one of the archways. I'll show you where it is because you'll see we all go there. This keeps us safe from the avalanche. Then Heidi has a lot of very powerful attacks. It can, as a manticore, jump into the air and then slam down onto the floor. You can see when this is going to happen because there'll be a red circle on the floor. It will disappear, you'll see the red circle. Just get out the circle and you should be fine. It can occasionally spit a load of spines towards you, or it can cover a huge area in front of it in very powerful AoE. The way to do this fight is to have the tank grab the aggro, and then, if you're a DPS like me, stay behind the manticore. It's the safest place. Stay behind it and dodge. This fight is very, very fast. If you are a low or even a mid-geared team, you're going to find this difficult. It took me a couple of tries. So now we've got the group ready, we can go and do this. I'll talk about the attacks as the manticore throws them at us. We've got the entrance cinematic and it flies off. We fall down this huge cliff. Remember to dodge at the bottom of a fall to avoid fall damage and hide underneath this little overhang here. That's going to avoid most of the damage, or some of the damage at least, from the avalanche. Then run around. The manticore will jump down into the arena. We want to jump forward and DPS it as fast as we possibly can. Being behind it is the safest place because it will lunge at you. It's incredibly quick, this fight. If you don't do it first time, don't get disheartened, keep going. It's designed to be a very, very tough boss. Now this team, thankfully, is able to DPS it. See that massive area in front of it? A huge fan attack of DPS, a huge AoE fan. You want to stay away from all the red. It can be hard to see the red because sometimes it blends in with the white snow. But if in doubt, just stand behind it. Now there is a well-known unfortunate glitch with this where if you die, you may have to be kicked from your team and then re-invited because you can't get back into the area. Thankfully that will be dealt with by the time this video comes out. You can see that I'm staying behind it, doing as much damage as I can, and now it's flown up and away. If it doesn't slam back into the arena, head back over to this overhang here, because it's up there and it's about to cause a second avalanche. The avalanches can happen quite frequently, so make sure you're always aware and ready to head back to that overhang. Apart from that, stay behind, DPS as fast as you can, and don't fall off the edge. You can quite easily, if you stop paying attention, fall off the edge. It's flown away, jumped up into the air, we're all aware of where it's going to land, we're all ready for it. Now it's going to be difficult to get behind it now because it's so close to the edge. With a good tank keeping it distracted, staying behind is easy. If you don't have a very competent or very well geared tank, Heidi is going to jump between all of you, and you're going to see exactly how much damage can happen. You'll notice then that a tail attack knocked quite a few of the team back. If you don't do this first time, don't worry about it. It's designed to be a difficult boss. I'm only able to do what I'm doing now because I've got a phenomenal team helping me out. We'll head over here, get ready for the next avalanche, hide away from it, and then move quickly. The reason I'm moving as soon as the avalanche has happened, despite not knowing where Heidi is going to be, is I've got a greater chance of avoiding it if I'm moving. See, I stabbed it right in the face, then right in front. That's exactly where I don't want to be. Ideally, I always want to be behind this manticore. And I never want to be the one that it has aggro on, because I cannot take more than one hit from this guy. get out the way quickly. You'll see that unfortunately its tail attack caught me there. The difficulty with this boss is it can be dangerous in a 360 arc. Its head can bite you, it's got the huge breath attack with its spines in the front, and it can hit you with its tail. So no matter where you're standing, you are in danger. However, behind it is the safest place. As soon as it lands, I want to try and get some of my attacks into it really quickly. Dodge out the way of the red, and then keep up the DPS as and when I can. And we managed to take it down as a team. I've got a Greater Union Stone and some Elven Assault Braces. That's not bad. If you're lucky, you'll even get the Manticore drop. Once you've killed it, carry on. Now I'm going to change my powers back to being more AoE, because we're about to take on a load of little enemies, and I need more AoE damage than I do single target. Just waiting for Mia to come and get involved. And then we will be off. Now the next part of this dungeon involves fighting waves of enemies. Mia was lucky enough to get the Manticore main drop. That is the rare one that we were after. Now the waves of enemies that are going to come through this, what happens is we need to get to an ice wall and activate the ice wall. That's going to cause an NPC to start slowly melting the wall. While the NPC is slowly melting the wall, we need to keep them safe by killing wave after wave of enemies. It can take a while, and it's very, very testing, especially on whoever's healing and whoever's tanking, to keep all the aggro off the DPS. We drop down the little ledge and there are two enemies greeting us. Run forward, there's a few more. These are difficult in packs, but it's nothing you haven't dealt with before. Now once you've cleared these runts out of the way, keep pushing forward, you'll see this ice wall. Press F to call Euan rolled. When Euan rolled is over here, he is going to start melting the wall, and we are going to take care of the army that's coming to attack him. You can even see on the right hand side of my screen, it says, Descent into the chilling tunnels. Defend Euan rolled for 1 minute and 40 seconds. Well, that's how much I had remaining anyway. You'll have to defend him for 2 minutes in total. Enemies can drop down from that cave just there, or they can enter from that cave over there. They're the only two places they're going to come from. So as long as you as a group can stand here and defend this guy, you'll be fine. The enemies are tough and they are elite. If you're lower geared, even if you're medium geared, and if you try and take them on alone, you're going to have a bad time. Now thankfully I'm not taking almost any damage because the tank I'm running with is great, and the healer is keeping me topped up all the time. We've got to wait for 57 more seconds before this guy's going to get us through the first ice wall. And you have to do this twice. We're going to get through this ice wall, and then there'll be a second ice wall. There really is nothing difficult, specifically difficult, about this bit, other than staying alive and doing as much damage as you can, as fast as you can. The reason you want to kill things quickly is because if you don't, the mobs are all going to start to add up and stack together, and that's when things get really difficult. If you have any questions about this guide, about myself, or about the Hunter Ranger class, you can normally find me on Twitch under JoshStrifeHayes. 5 seconds left for this first ice wall. He's going to successfully melt it, and we head through. Now as soon as we head through, you'll notice there's a bonfire. So if we die, this is where we carry on from. 2 war trolls just here. There are 2 ways to deal with this. Kill them now or push through. You'll see that we've aggroed them so they're following us, and now we're pushing through to the next group. The reason we've pushed through to the next group is simply because it's easier to keep everything together and AoE everything as a group. No mechanics that you need to be aware of, just kill the group of enemies. We push through and get to the second area. This area is almost identical to the one we've just done, insofar as we need to defend Euan while he melts the ice wall. We run forward to the ice wall and we press F. Now remember, it's very important that you run forward to the ice wall and press F. If you as a team just run to here and wait, Euan won't arrive. Make sure someone runs forward and presses F. Now just as before, the enemies can only spawn from 2 places, in the caves over here and behind me in the caves over there. So simply make sure you're watching your back all the time and you know where all the enemies are coming from. The way to win almost any dungeon is to be in charge of the battlefield and to know where your enemies are. Now even if I try and take on this troll solo, I'm not going to do too much damage to it. These guys have huge amounts of health, loads of armor. I need all the buffs and all the boons that my team are giving me to be anything near useful. We've got 1 minute and 5 seconds left until this second ice wall has been melted. And then we're going to take on the second mini-boss, the dragon turtle. This is going exceptionally well. We've got 44 seconds left remaining. Keep killing them and do everything you can. When we take on the dragon turtle, there are some interesting mechanics. I will explain those before we go into the fight. You can see all these enemies are spawning from these tunnels over here, and we're keeping them all together, allowing us to do some great AoE DPS all here. 10 seconds left and Euan will have made it through that ice wall and we can carry on. Brilliant. We've defended Euan, he's blown the ice up, we can go through. We push through and we slide down this ice slide here. Now your character will use traction and you'll slip to the left and right. Make sure not to fall off the edge and carry on straight down. I'm now going to change to single target DPS. An interesting fact here is you want to send away your companion. I believe I've got a key to do that. And the reason I'm sending away my companion is because I'm going to re-summon them when I get to where I want to get to. Otherwise, they are likely to fall off the edge and die, and I won't have time to re-summon them then before the boss starts. We're going to use this same tactic later on in the dungeon as well. We're actually quite close to the end boss. We've only got to kill the dragon turtle, and then the final boss is almost right around the corner. Now the dragon turtle. You're going to be on a circle of ice. When the dragon turtle jumps up onto the edge, run forward, DPS it. It will lunge forward and bite you. If you're standing right in front of it, you'll take a huge amount of damage. Occasionally, it will raise itself up and slam down onto the ice. If this happens, it will gain a stack of something which will add up constant damage, a stack of anger, which will add constant damage to it. The more stacks it builds up, the more dangerous it is. You want to jump over these ice bits like I'm doing now, shooting these explosive runes out the way. These explosive runes are going to come into the boss fight later as well. Now we're going to hopefully DPS this turtle down as fast as possible, but slow enough that I can talk about the mechanics. We're waiting for our party. I'm going to re-summon my companion. You'll see the reason I sent my companion away is so they didn't fall into this water or get hit by an explosive rune. Now here's the dragon turtle. Now throughout the fight, at certain points, explosive runes will drop onto the ice arena that you are in. You can hit these explosive runes, almost like golf balls, and send them flying off. There's the dragon turtle. Massive, huge red area. Get out of it. The red area can be close, it can be far away, but you want to make sure you stay out of it and then run forward and DPS this guy. The safest place to be again is here, right in front. Hopefully I'm not going to take any of that really powerful bite damage. There it is again, a huge red AoE. Safest place right up next to the turtle. Use as many of the attacks as I've got. There's the slam, and you'll notice that underneath its health bar, next to all the debuffs that we're putting onto it, is a single buff it's putting onto itself. Just there, wild slam. that can add up and up and up. Now the dragon turtle has pulled back into the ocean and it's swimming around us right now. We need to shoot these explosive runes at it and hit it. If we can hit the dragon turtle with these explosive runes, it will come back into the arena. We need to find out where it is. You can see where it is because it's breathing this horrible steam breath at you. I was able just about to hit it over there by shooting an explosive rune at it. If you aren't quick enough and you shoot an explosive rune and it simply flies off, you've effectively wasted that rune and it won't do anything. You'll notice that the screen went very, very dark when that happened. That's actually a graphical update that none of us were aware of, and that's made this fight a lot more interesting. You'll see specifically, and this will apply to Hunter Rangers, that I'm not using my Seeker's Mark daily. The reason I'm not using that is it would cause me to leap toward him and potentially fall into the water. You want to make extra careful, extra sure that you do not fall off the edge of this arena. It is slippy, it is made of ice, and if you fall into the water, you will die. If I stand further away, I'm going to have to deal with way more of these turtles' attacks. If I were to stand all the way over here, I'd have to deal dodging all the red all the time. But I'm hugging him for the whole fight, and it's making it much easier. Now once again, the arena goes dark, and we have to find the turtle. This darkness is actually a new graphical addition to the Mod 12 update. I've never seen this before. It's making everything a little bit more difficult. You notice then that I got hit by an explosive rune falling directly onto me. They are seriously powerful. And unfortunately, we got hit by the dragon turtle's breath just then. We're firing as a team all these explosive runes off the edge, hoping against hope to hit this turtle. Unfortunately, we're going to see him a tad late. We're only going to see him when he starts doing that horrible breath attack at us. And as soon as that happens, we want to make sure we're already aiming at him. There we go. I think that one hit him. If not, we're going to stay in the darkness for a while. You'll notice that we're always moving. Simple reason we're always moving is to make sure we don't get hit by the runes when they drop. You'll also notice that in the top left on my character, I'll highlight this now, that I have taken steam burned. The damage I take from steam attacks is increased. So unfortunately, this fight's only going to get harder. Every single time he does that horrible breath attack on me, it's going to hurt. And every time it hits me, it's going to make the next time hurt even more. So this turtle makes itself stronger throughout the fight, and it makes us weaker. You'll notice just then that we took even more damage. I fell down and Soulforge got me up, Mia's all the way down. This is very, very difficult now. Seeing him is hard. We need to hope we can spot the turtle and take him down in a second. Someone got a lucky hit off, we managed to kill the turtle. Or we managed to get it back onto dry land. Now it's on dry land, we're going to do everything we can to hurt it. As this fight goes on, we get weaker and the turtle gets stronger. That's why you want to really focus on DPSing this guy quickly. If you don't do this first time, don't worry. Not many teams do. But again, the best place is right up next to him. I pressed the wrong button then, and I unfortunately jumped onto him. Thankfully, I didn't die. Get out the red and DPS as much as we can. If we're lucky, we can burn him down before he does that horrible darkness attack and swims off again. The mechanics that you've seen so far have been pretty much the whole fight. That's it. He's done this, swimming off again. Now you don't actually need to take the dragon turtle's health to 0. You just need to get it pretty close to 0 and then it swims off. You can see him in the darkness over there, and occasionally you'll see it surface while it swims around. Seeing it surface though isn't exactly what we need. What we need is to see where it is so we can shoot an explosive rune at it. Someone managed to hit it, fantastic. They followed the steam breath, shot a rune in that direction, and I think they managed to hit it. If we're lucky, that should be it. going to shoot some of these runes off the edge just in case. And we're waiting now for a hidden, very powerful turtle to use his horrible steam breath attack on us. Now I'm trying to spot where the turtle is by using the horizon and seeing if I can see any difference in colour at all. This is a pretty nerve-wracking boss, and I think we're all pretty much aware that if we don't hit this guy pretty quickly, yeah, there we go, he's going to take us down. Even for a mid to high geared group like we are, this is not the easiest boss. We run forward, and what I hope will be the last time, DPS him as fast as we can. Brilliant, we managed to make it. I've got an Elven Raid hood and some seals for my trouble. Nothing great, but better than nothing. Now before we jump over here, I'm going to dismiss my companion or my pet. The reason for this is I want to try and sneak past the next bit if I can. And my pet, unfortunately, is going to make that hard for me by attacking everything. So I've dismissed my pet and I've jumped over this ice. You see how I'm following Denko up here. We're avoiding this fight. I'm avoiding this fight because the battle-tested orc is actually going to take on the frost giant for me. I'm going to leave these guys to sort their own fight out, and I'm going to go and do what I need to do. Now, unfortunately, it won't let me enter this door until I'm out of combat. The reason we're standing over here is hopefully we'll be out of combat pretty soon. If we're not out of combat anytime soon, we may as well turn around and kill these guys. That, our little trick, our little attempt to make that quicker, unfortunately didn't work. So we've had to turn around and kill these guys anyway. With the team we've got, it's not that difficult. So we're taking these guys out, and now we can carry on. We're about to walk into a huge fight between frost giants and a few orcs. Now we don't want to get involved in this fight. What we want to do is search for the Ring of Winter. And we need to search 10 locations and then discover it's not there. So as soon as this loads up, we're going to run in. I'm going to avoid all the fighting if I can and search all the locations. The locations are pretty easy to spot because they all have little glowing lights around them, like any location you can interact with in this game. Avoid the fights. You can still be hit by the red. You can still be hit by the AoE damage even if you're not directly in combat with these people. So avoid those guys and run around. Let them fight amongst themselves. We're going to go and just search for the ring. Now one player doesn't need to search all 10 places. The team collectively needs to search all 10 places. And once you've searched 10 places, it will simply say the Ring of Winter is not here. Now I'm at the door where I need to be, and we've searched 9 out of 10 places. So I'm going to run back and see if I can find one place the team has not yet searched. But as soon as we've searched all 10, we're going to be good to go. Done. Unfortunately, our cleric or healer seems to have fallen. We've got her up, and we're carrying on. If you are a mid to high geared group and you're not doing this easily, or you're still taking some damage, or it's proving tough, that's exactly what this dungeon is designed to do. It's not meant to be easy. If you want to run through a really easy dungeon, try Cloak Tower. This is meant to challenge you. Now this is the hardest part, the last boss. I'm going to talk about the mechanics, then we're going to go and get involved. First thing I'm going to do is resummon my pet, resummon my companion. In fact, someone cleverly put in the chat box, check companions. Remember how we dismissed them to run through that area without them aggroing anything? Now we're going to get them back. This is the hard part, Drufi the Herald of Winter. So, thankfully, she does not summon any ads, so we don't need to worry about anything in the arena apart from her. She has got several interesting attacks. I'm just going to run in and tell you about these attacks as she does them. Not going to bother explaining all of them right now. I'm going to show you them as we go. Waiting for Mia to come and get involved. Likely just changing around a few equipments. Now if you don't do this first time, carry on. try again. It's designed to be a difficult, tough boss. Even a very well mid-geared group is going to struggle. So knowing that there's no ads, we can all focus DPS on her. She has that massive sword, which she'll swing around very, very quickly and hit everyone. The attacks are in order that we see them. Occasionally she'll pick someone or pick a direction and she will charge. When she picks a direction, she charges straight towards you. You can see this and avoid it easily because there will be a red rectangle on the floor and she'll charge at you. Sometimes she'll run to one of the side walls. See the wall she just ran to now, and she'll push this blizzard attack on us. This blizzard attack is going to push me back. See how it's pushing me toward the back wall? That back wall is spiky and dangerous. If I get pushed all the way back, I'm going to take damage by being pushed into the wall. So when you see her run to one of these side walls, you want to run up to her and try and stay as close as possible. I managed just then to avoid that attack. Sometimes she will summon icicles. She will go down on one knee and icicles will pop up. See these icicles just here? Brilliant. I managed to avoid them, so I dodged out the way just quick enough. Now here's a very important part of this fight. You do not want to break these icicles. Those icicles you need. You want them to stay alive. The only exception to this is if there is someone trapped in them. If those icicles pop up, and they pop up directly under a player, they will trap that player inside them. If that's the case, you want to break them. If there's no player in them, you want to leave them there, because they will be essential to avoiding an attack later. Now we're going to continue to DPS Droofy down, and she's going to continue to do all of her regular attacks. The nice big sword swing like that, which is thankfully telegraphed so early you should be able to dodge out the way. The red dash attack, which although dangerous and hits a lot of people, doesn't actually do that much damage. There's another big sword swing attack. The two attacks that you need to be aware of, or the three attacks you need to be aware of. The first one is the icicles. The icicles is good. They're easy to avoid and they're pretty important. See how they popped up just there? We need to leave them there. Sometimes she'll get down on one knee and you'll see one player, just like now, has an arrow pointing toward them. What you want to do then is go and hug that player, because that player, the one with the arrows, is about to take a lot of damage. Hugging them negates the damage. And here's the third big attack. When she goes over there and says Winter's Chorus will be your demise, hide behind an icicle. If you do not hide behind an icicle, you will die. That is her party wipe attack. And I have seen very, very good, very, very well geared parties be completely wiped out due to that attack. This is the reason you want to leave the ice there. If you break the ice and she does the Winter's Demise party kill attack, you've got nothing to hide behind. So the mechanics for this fight are: stay behind Droofy if you're a DPS and do as much damage as you can. If she runs over to one side like she has done now, keep running against the blizzard. When she makes these icicles stick up from the floor, dodge out the way so you don't get trapped, but then don't break them. And when she runs over here to the edge and says Winter will be your demise, get behind an icicle. Now there is a well-known glitch where if the icicle you get behind is too close to the entrance door, as in it's over here, then it will not register as you being behind an icicle and you'll take a massive amount of damage. Hopefully by the time this video comes out, that will have been dealt with. But if you have a choice, always get behind an icicle that's not near the entrance door. You'll notice she's doing her dash attack loads and it's knocking me over all the time. And now she's doing the arrow attack and I'm going to hug that person. The reason you hug the person is because then the damage is shared and the person with the arrow doesn't take all of it. Now the icicles are up in the corner. We've taken the fight over here. You'll notice this group is skilled enough that as soon as the icicles appear, we are luring her away. A well-known problem, yep, she's doing Winter's Demise attack, we all go and hide behind the icicles. This is a reason why many DPS players, if they use lightning enchantments, take the lightning enchantment off for this fight, because you can, without meaning to, completely by accident, destroy all of the icicles just through your AoE DPS damage with lightning. Now the arrow is on me, so hopefully all the guys are going to hang out next to me and it will negate the damage. Now just then we probably did quite a few hits onto the icicles and we're down to 2, so we need to make sure the fight stays over here. This is a long fight, and the longer anything goes on, the greater your chance of dying. So we want to make sure we're always aware of what she's doing. Droofy is not difficult to kill if you pay attention to the area and have a great team around you. We're pushing back against this blizzard attack, and as soon as I can, I'm going to attack back and try and keep burning her down. The icicles are coming back up, and she's darting over to the side. That suits us perfectly because we want to keep her away from the icicles so our attacks don't hit them. As always, stay behind the boss. We're very close, but remember, you shouldn't celebrate until the boss lies dead. Fantastic, we took her down, that was excellent. The team worked perfectly. Pick up whatever Droofy drops and then head over and get your reward. That was great work from everyone. Head back to the docks over here and leave. You'll see 2 chests at the end. One of them is the chest you can open with your regular key, and one of them is the chest you can open with the ancient runic key. So I'm going to open the regular chest first. Nothing good, that's a shame. And now we've got the ancient runic key. If you haven't got the ancient runic key, open your quest journal, go to your Sword Coast Chronicles and open the Storm King's Thunder campaign. You can create the ancient runic key using 2,000 Vonin blood and 10 towns supplies. You get those from doing the campaign. If you don't have an ancient runic key, you can also use a legendary dragon key. So let's open this up and see if there's anything good. Ancient Castle Champion Sword Knot and a Radiant rank 8. It's not terrible. I can probably sell the rank 8. That was a guide to Fangbreaker Island. It's a difficult dungeon, but if you stick with your team, you talk about it and you take it slow, you can kill Droofy quite easily. It was a great job by my team. Thank you for watching this guide. Go and kill Droofy.